So we are creating with the Legendary Collection by Paige Evans at Pink Fresh this month. And I got the collection at the shop. So if you're interested in this collection, it is there. You can go in person and pick it up, or you can shop online. And I did pin the online website where you can shop to the top of the page, so you can check out the store. And let me just see. It is live in 2 places. We are good. Okay, I figured it out. Look at me getting all fancy after I was a bit, as you can imagine, you turn on the computer to go live. I had everything set up and ready to go. I even printed pictures and journaling and everything. Look at this. I was prepared. And I raced in from work and went to turn on the computer, and no, nothing. No Wi-Fi. But anyway, we're here now. Good thing my resetting of the modem worked and we can be here together. So welcome tonight. I am going to be scrapbooking a couple of pictures of a night at the resort where we were staying last year for my birthday. These are my 2 sweet daughters-in-law, or 2 of the 3. And the mariachi band that was playing that night let us pose for pictures with them. They were really sweet. So there was that, and then there's some pictures of like from far away, but like on the stage, and then the dancers, and yeah, so it was good. Oh, that's upside down. Okay, so those are the pictures I'm going to be working with tonight. I have, for those of you who like multi-photo layouts, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pictures tonight. A little journaling block. I have my preset date stamps, so if you're interested in date stamps, check out the shop. Jo has some there. If you don't find what you're looking for, just ask her. I'm sure she'd be happy to look it up for you and see if she can find it. I'm going to be using the archival Instant Dry Pigment ink by VersaFine in Onyx Black for stamping my date. And you can get this in the shop. I also like it for my little additions kind of stamps. So I do have my stitching stamp here. So I could potentially use that. It just sits on my desk. And what else? I just want to close this. There we go. And I have my Black Soot Distress ink by Ranger, Tim Holtz. And this is the one that I'm going to ink the edges of my pages with. And you can get that in the shop as well as the applicators and the foam pads. Now, I don't know if she has this shape of foam pad, but whatever is in there is probably best. My stuff is kind of dated because I usually grab things when I first decide I like them. And then they age. This one I actually have the re-inker for because it's my most used ink. So there we go. So I'm going to be working with this paper pack tonight. It is 12 double-sided papers from Legendary. This is a Paige Evans collection that has very little flowers and no real pink and purple. So it's kind of different for her. But we did find a geometric floral in there, and I fussy cut some of those, fussy cut some of the houses and trees. I fussy cut some of the badges. I fussy cut some of the number cards. And that's how I got my, and I fussy cut some of these like phone pieces. And that's how I'm going to embellish. I didn't buy the die cut packs, but if you're not into fussy cutting, there are die cut packs that you can pick up. So yeah. I know the stitching stamp is so awesome. I know Jo had one in for a while, but I think it sold out. So keep an eye out. We're on the lookout for them. And I also have the chipboard phrase stickers from the Legendary collection. This is more where you can see that the theme of the collection isn't specific. It's more about anything you would post on your social media is fine, right? So that kind of thing. And this is where I'm going to try to pull my title from today. I keep pulling alphas and I really want to use these. So going for that today. Let's see. I'll just quickly show the other 2 layouts that I've made so far. You can find these in the Create Crew, and there's links to the video for this one. There is no video for this one because it was kind of like a, this is on my desk and I have an idea. And so I made this after sharing the collection. Alana says that, yeah, she should have a stitching stamp. I think I already read that one. It's a very well-loved tool in my scrapbook room for sure. Here it is in action, stamped on here. And I don't sew, but I like the look of it, so that works for me, right? Alrighty, so we're gonna get started. I showed my pictures. They are kind of bright red, so the red is already in my pictures. I don't necessarily need it from my papers, but I could match it up. Do you know what I'm saying? And I know that red matches because it's already in the collection. So I need to find a background paper first. So let's look at what I have left. This is the cover sheet. I could just use the back of this as a white cardstock. I could also grab some, let me see. These are just bits that I kind of cut off the edge. So those, and this is what I have left. This is the B side of that house paper, or not house, but they're buildings, I guess, shops. And so they are on there. Hello, ladies. I can't see who you are, but I see my numbers just went up a little bit. Welcome. Thank you for coming tonight. And then we have this kind of doodled border kind of looking paper. They're triangles. And this is the other side. This is where I cut those geometric florals out of. So that I have that. This is where I cut the cell phones out of, and this is the scrap that I have left. This is where I cut the badges out of, and this is the piece that I have left. It's funny because I picked the ones I thought I would use the most, and then there was one right here that was so perfect for my layout I ended up cutting into it. Cutting it out. You never know. Okay, so these are my full sheets. Let's see if I want a patterned paper sheet background or if I want just that white back of the legendary paper. Okay, so we have this tone-on-tone orange grid paper, and then we have, ooh, I like this one. I'm going to save this for something else. We're not going to use that one today. I do love this rainbow stripe. I might use this on the page, but I don't want it as my background. It also has this leaf pattern on the back, so not exactly floral, but page always has to have something flowery in there, right? Okay, and then we have, this one is like a geometric pattern. It's kind of dark. I do like the idea of a dark background because the event we were at was at nighttime, but I don't really like the green because the green with the red makes me think Christmas. And, oh, but the blue maybe. That's going to be a contender, I think. Okay. And I have a second sheet of this, but I'm going to leave it out because I think everybody else won't have a second sheet. My package was just like miscounted or something. So I'm going to leave that out in case people are playing along. And I already used that one as a background. So this one, oh, yellow. Yellow is cute too. Their hats are kind of that kind of dark yellow color. So maybe. And then what's on this side? Ooh. I also like that as my background. It's kind of busy, but I like it. We'll see. And then this one's very busy patterned. This might also be a contender for what I was thinking of the stripes. So let's put this one and the stripe one as contenders for the next step. And then I have to decide, do I want, anybody want to chime in? What do you guys think? The black background, the blue background, or the yellow background? So this is kind of what I have. We're doing a multi-photo layout tonight. We're going to do, kind of leaning towards this one. We're going to do this. So here he's putting the hat on Alicia's head, and then we have this one. And then I'm thinking we're going to do something like down along here, maybe. I want this one at the end because this is kind of like their farewell. Maybe this way. What if I did it like, kind of nice because then the yellow holds it in. Now, what will that look like if I put all of those on the yellow side? Because it's lighter, I think I just kind of like the dark because it was nighttime. So anybody else ever stayed at a resort where they have like the night performances or whatever? This was it was very festive. It was like Mexico themed. So they had like mariachi band and dancers and games and stuff that were like games that local kids played, and it was like twisting a kite string to get. Oh, Alana says she likes the yellow because it goes with the hats, but also the black. Hi, Joanne. Welcome. Thanks for coming. I love seeing you here. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the black. I think I'm going to go with the black. Okay, so this is going to be my background paper. I'm going to move this out of my way, and these little scraps too, so you're not visually overwhelmed by all the things. And I'm going to cut off the branding strip. So this paper is called, in case you're shopping for individual sheets. We don't have those in our tiny little shop, but you can find them other places. This one is Creative Energy. So if you're shopping from a different place and like it's very expensive to ship to the States, for example, right now. So if you're shopping from there and you're looking for the individual sheet, it is called Creative Energy. And that is, these branding strips do not have pretty pattern on them, so I'm just gonna let them go. And I do have a hard time letting go of the ones that have pretty pattern. Okay, which way did this go now? I can't. I think like that. All right. So I already went ahead and put a 1/4 inch mat. So like this is a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mat. And this is like 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So these are 2 by 3, 3 by 3, 2 by 3, and 3 by 3. So there we go. Also cute. I don't think it really matters which way I put it. Okay, so we have, this is kind of my basic setup that I want. I did kind of start with a sketch. So this is the sketch for today. I don't know how many of you are following along with those things, but over at Christy's Beautiful Life, she has her 30 days of sketches running for the month of March. I think she does it again in June. The sketches are all made for the event, and so they're all very unique and different. This one is by Miss Carrie. Now I'd have to look, but I know Miss Carrie is attached to some kind of other website. So I am going to find, so see how it has this where these smaller, these would not be 3 by 3 because they wouldn't fit across the page, right? Individually. You'd have to, they'd take up that whole thing, 3, 6, 9, 12. So they're smaller, but mine are different sizes, which is fine. Always know that about a sketch. If you're looking at a sketch and you're thinking, well, I don't have any photos that size, you can always decide what fits for you. Also, these could be anything. They don't have to be photos. They could be embellishments. They could be journaling cards. They could be chipboard. They could be all kinds of ideas to fit in there. And then these two overlapping 4 by 6 photos, and then this has like the same kind of color of strip down here as it is up here. So that being said, that's where the other two papers that I said I might use come in. Where did I put them? I feel like I tossed them aside so randomly. Oh, I put them over here so that I would know I was going to use them. So these are the two contenders. So I love a good stripe strip. As you know, I like how it always ties all the colors of the collection in. So I could use this across the bottom as well as across the top of the page. Or I could use this funky geometric pattern across the bottom and across the top. But you know what? I think this one's too busy because my background is already busy and I have a ton of photos going on. So I'm going to stick with, this is very colorful, but because the stripes, my goodness, I'm having trouble today. The stripes are linear. It's not going to appear as busy as it did on the other paper. Okay, so same number of colors, but just a little bit more linear for the eye. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I know that my photo mats are 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to cut my strip for the bottom at 3 1/2 inches. Or I could do 3 3/4. Let's see what we decide. So first of all, I'm going to cut off our branding strip. This paper is called Life in Progress. And again, without the pretty pattern on there, I'm just going to let that go. And then we're going to cut along this way so that I can get all of those colors in. If I cut this way, it's just going to be a blue strip and then some warm colors, which is great too. But I want all the colors. So I'm going to turn it and I'm going to cut it this way. And I think I'm going to go with 3 3/4 because I can always trim a quarter off, but I can't put it back. Well, I can do whatever I want. I could put it back on, but I don't think it'll look as nice. So I'm going to cut it at 3 3/4 and see if I like it. Okay. So I'm going to put that along the bottom. So what's everybody else up to for the month of March? Anybody got St. Patrick's Day plans tomorrow? It's green shirt day. Don't forget your green shirt. Somebody might pinch ya. My grandkids were over yesterday telling me all about building a leprechaun trap. So we're going to pretend Grandma built a leprechaun trap, but I'm not actually building one. And here we go. Now, up here, I do like it at that size, so I'm not going to trim it down. And then for this strip up here, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to cut it at 1 inch. So I'm just going to line it up. Now my trimmer has a 1 inch measurement on this side as well, so I like to use that one for 1 inch. It just is more stable when I cut the paper because most of the paper is on the flat surface on this side. So check your trimmer and see if it has that feature or not. I like measuring smaller measurements like 1/2 or full inch or 3/4 of an inch on this side. There's also a couple of trimmers in the shop, but like I said, if there's something different that you like or you're looking for, ask Jo and she'll be happy to look it up for you and check it out, see if she can order it, get it with her next shipment. There we go. So that's kind of the basics of my layout. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my photos off. I'm going to ink up the edges of my papers and glue them together. And then we'll get the photos glued down and then we'll put our journaling on and get some titling on there. So again, I'm using Black Soot Distress ink for my edging. But yes, I did go live today instead of Tuesday because I have plans for St. Patrick's Day. It's our date night with some friends of ours. We've been friends since our boys were in preschool and they are turning 32 this year. So how's that for a long time friendship? And got to make time for those things. So hi Ruth. You're here and you're at Starbucks. Well, look at you being in 2 places at once. That's pretty exciting. What did you order? I have a few orders at Starbucks I like. Depends, I think, whether it's summer or winter, but my favorite winter drink is the chai tea latte made with oat milk and 0 sugar syrup. I get plenty of sugar in my diet, so I try not to drink it. But I do like, oops, I do like sweet stuff. Okay, so we're gonna put this on. Just gonna line it up with the edge there. There we go. I love this sketch. It's so quick and easy. Now in the sketch, it has, because there's so many photos on it, it does a lot of the work for you, right? So there's also a strip. Can you see it? It's like kind of on top of that bottom piece. So I'm going to see what I have for that. I might have a scrap already cut that would go nicely there. I have this one. It's from the one with all of the shops and buildings. And I think that works perfectly. So I'm just going to trim that up a little bit because it does have a little bit of the bottom pieces from the shops. Ruth got an Americano and tomato mozzarella sandwich. Oh my gosh. I love that. Spoil yourself. Good girl. I don't really drink coffee, which is interesting. I spend an awful lot of time in coffee shops, but I really like different kinds of tea. So there we go. Okay, so I got that trimmed up. Just gonna ink the edges with my Black Soot Distress ink. I know that everybody swears by the domed foam applicators, and I do imagine that they're really good for blending ink, but I have not got the hang of them for this, like on the edge, like distressing the edges of my paper. I don't know, like I know you can use them. I see people do it, but for whatever reason, my hand is just so used to doing it with the flat foam that it just doesn't seem to work for me. So, okay, and I'm just gonna like eyeball it and kind of center it on the top seam of that where the two papers connect. There we go. All right, so I want this one of the guy putting the hat on Alicia here. And then I want this one where she's already wearing the hat a little on the bottom there. So I think that's going to work out pretty good. I might pop this one up. So let me grab some foam tape. Where's my big foam roller? Uh-oh, it's gone MIA. It's probably still packed from the last time I went scrapbooking. Okay, I am going to improvise, and I'm going to use some chipboard. So, don't be like Nadine and go buy your foam tape and then hide it on yourself, okay? Just keep the foam tape nearby. But this is a little trick if you ever run out of foam tape and then you too, Joanne, you either what? You don't like coffee? Ooh, Ruth likes oolong tea. So here's a little tip or trick or whatever you want to call it for anytime that you run out of, what do you call this stuff? Dimensional adhesive. You can always use scraps of chipboard. So this is an old chipboard thing that I kept the stuff that would normally go in the recycle bin, and I use it on my dimensional pieces so that it does a couple of things for me. I like to have it as a backup because this kind of stuff happens to me where I go to look for something and it's not where I want it. And so if I keep my scraps of chipboard or the empty chipboard bits, these ones are from a board book from ages ago. And but you get the same kind of idea when you have like chipboard pieces from like Echo Park or Simple Stories or whatever, and they You can use the pieces as dimensionals. You just have to put glue on both sides, right? So this is what I do. Now I want to make sure it's on the bottom. And I just I don't worry too much about perfection, right? This is going to be on the other corner of my photo away from the one that's going to overlap there. And so I just glue it down. And it's just an alternative to dimensional adhesive. Oh, the rounded brush tips to ink the edges. So Joanne is saying, yeah, she doesn't know how to use the domed foam applicator to get the ink on the edges of her paper either. I think it's just a habit thing maybe, like because I've been doing this one for so many years that I get that domed one and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't go on the same way. It's not what I'm used to, I guess. So I'm glad I'm not alone. Thanks, Joanne. Oh, knocking stuff out. Okay, so just gonna keep cutting and filling in some spaces. Now, if you went by the shop on the weekend, it was closed. Joe posted on our socials that it was going to be closed. She was at a retreat. I'm going to have to go to one of these retreats with her one of these days. Never works out for me. I can't do much on the weekends anymore because I took this job. Work is getting in the way of my scrapbooking. Does that happen to anyone else? Okay, so I don't want to put wet glue on my photo. I just don't like to. It'll probably be fine, but this is going to hold up just based on the other chipboard that I put behind it. I also like that it's not too thick in terms of like how off the page it goes. So it's enough to give it that shadow and depth, but it doesn't like pop off the page so much that I can't fit it in the page protector. Okay. So next up, I'm just going to put the lid on this so it doesn't dry out because heavens knows. This is another thing. So there is a variety of wet glue in the shop for crafting. I have, again, this is a thing where I have my tried and true favorite, which is Scotch tacky glue or quick dry adhesive, depending on how old it is. And I put it in a fine line bottle with a little bit of water, and that's my favorite and it's my go-to. And so when I run out of it, I'm going to be super sad because they don't make it anymore, I don't think. So, but definitely go through. I'm just going to have to trial different glues until I find another one that I love. So that will happen sometime in the future because it won't last forever. All right. So a little bit earlier we were talking about how shipping to the States is a little bit complicated lately, and shipping from the States is no picnic either. I ordered some, I've always ordered from the same company for years and years, my ATG refills, and I buy them in bulk, okay, because I scrapbook so prolifically that I use a ton, and I don't want to spend my crafting budget just on my glue. So anyway, so I found this website from, I don't know, somebody online was talking about it. And when I, ordered from them the first, 5 or 6 times and did the math, it was definitely cheaper to go that way. And then this time I ordered and I didn't say anything different about, obviously the price is up since the last time I bought it and the shipping was a little bit more expensive, which, okay, I was expecting that. That's fine. And then I get this message in my mailbox saying that I have to go to the post office because it's, what is that called? You have to pay when it's delivered. So I go to the post office and sure enough, it's another $50 to pick up my glue. And I was like, wait, what? That's a lot. And when I got it home, I opened it up and it had all been taken apart and somebody had ripped the edges off of the boxes, like, because they come in like boxes of, 25 or whatever. Yeah, duty. I had to pay duty. I never paid that before, not for this product. But yeah, so sad. I was like, so now I haven't done it yet, but I have to redo the math and make sure I'm still saving money because I'm not going to do that anymore if it's cheaper at the shop. But yes, you can get the refills at the shop for sure. For this one, I'm not 100% sure actually, but I know for the one that my mom uses, what is it? Adhesive by 3L, the little red one that you can refill. I know she sells that one. So yeah, it's always a preference thing, right? When you use something for such a long time. Like if this thing were to break, I have two, but eventually they'll all fall apart on me and I'll have to adjust to something new in my old age, which I don't like. I don't like new things. Just kidding. It's because I like to spend my money on pretty paper. I don't want to spend it on tools, especially glue. But it's a necessary, right? Like I really like my car, but I don't want to pay for tires because they're really expensive. But I need new tires, new summer tires. It's almost that time to switch our tires over. How exciting. Okay, so I laid this one down. This one's popped up. And I'm just going to get these guys down here. And I think this is the configuration I want. I could also do it this way. And I could also do it this way. But I like the alternating kind of the sizes. And separating those two kind of ones that come out yellow from the lighting. I kind of like that too. Okay. So Joanne says that if it's under like $70 or $80, she doesn't usually get charged duty. That's good information to have. Yeah, I buy in, like, we're talking really big bulk quantities, but I do share with a couple of other girls. We order together. But I use the majority of it, I'll be honest. Yeah, so it was a couple hundred. So was not happy about paying the extra fee. But we gotta do what we gotta do. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that on there as a little bit of a guide. And I want it down more because I want this one to be the same distance from the edge as this one because I'm weird like that. I can eyeball it too. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but kind of a weirdo, so we're gonna measure. So T-square ruler, Joe does carry them in the shop. I'm not sure if they're currently in stock, but definitely ask to be put on the list if they're not there yet. If she's in between orders, I know that they're a popular item. This was a game changer. If you haven't tried a T-square ruler, 10 out of 10 recommend. It's absolutely a game changer with scrapbooking, especially for people like me who like things to be linear. I like a creative layout as much as the next person, but when I want things linear, then I want them to really be, correctly linear. It's just my personality. Okay. Glad I didn't go to Puerto Vallarta this February. It was the anniversary of my trip when all the fires started down there. But it looks like they're doing okay now, so that's good. All right. Hi, Cindy. Oh, yeah, welcome. Thanks for showing up and commenting. I love having you guys here. You can always watch the replay. Hi, Paula. Welcome. So, yeah, I am getting to the end here. It didn't take me too terribly long to build this pretty simple layout and choose all my photos, etc., etc. My photos were chosen, I guess that's why. And they're doing a lot of the work for me because they take up a lot of the page. And I also followed a sketch from Miss Carrie at Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. So this is the sketch I'm following today. And then we have this little piece, which I pre-printed my journaling, and I matted it on a scrap of the blue paper, which is the backside of these little buildings. And that's going to go on here. But I do love this collection, this legendary collection from Paige. All of her stuff is very beautiful, but I'm not as I don't love the flowery stuff as much as she does. So I really love that she every once in a while will, you know, do something a little different that's still her style, because I do really like her style. And then I think I'm going to use one of these partial pieces that when I did the fussy cutting out of the cell phone paper, I was left with some of these partials, and I was like, you know, I can still use those, so I fussy cut them too. And you can see that I left the branding strip on this one so that I'd have a little bit more to put glue on and then tuck it behind. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here, is tuck it in behind there. And it was a social night at the resort, so I think that fits pretty good. And then I think I would like to choose a title. So everyday magic is real, as seen on my feed. I wish I could replay this moment. Unscripted days. Oh, that might be a good one. Because definitely when you're on holidays at a resort, your days are kind of unscripted. That one. For your page vibes, friends. Another page in the story, trending, rhythm of a good day. Oh, that's kind of cute too, because it is a band. And what is the other side? Daily highlights, every day holds a little wonder. The little things matter most. Eyes open, heart wide, world ready. Together, I like that one too. Next level content, scroll, snap, share. Okay. Let's see. Do I want unscripted days or rhythm of a good day? I think I like this one. So I'm going to ink up the edges of this chipboard. It is matte chipboard, not the glossy stuff, so it does take the ink pretty well. So I don't want to push too hard. I started at 6:05 because when I turned my computer on, so Cindy's asking, did you start at 6? I tried to, but when I turned my computer on, I had no internet. It said no Wi-Fi available, and I was like, wait, what? So I had to go downstairs, and okay, going downstairs is no picnic right now, okay? It's enough to give me a heart attack. It's, we tried to have our floors replaced. And when they pulled up the carpet, they found seepage under the foundation. Anyway, long story short, my basement is currently just stacks of furniture on concrete and an open wall. So I went downstairs, fought my way to the furnace room where our modem is, unplugged it from the wall and plugged it back in. But then you have to wait 5 minutes for it to reset and come back online. Thankfully that worked, and I was online by 6:05. So how's that for making it in the nick of time? So I think also I want, where are they? Oh, they're on this side. One of these geotags. I'm going to go with this colored one because we were traveling. I think a geotag is, well, it can be good for, I mean, wherever you are, right? So nice. And just Gives a little connection there. Okay, and then I do also like this thing where it says together. Do I want it up here or down here? I like giving myself a third spot, so I think I'm going to go right here. So I'm going to ink these up. And this is, Together works because it is like a group, and we were there, me and the two girls traveling. It's our first trip, girls trip together with my daughters-in-law. And, but really this is more about the shape and creating another spot for my embellishing. So I do like this arrow too. I think I might put that here. And I feel like I haven't used enough of this chipboard in my other layouts, so I'm glad that I'm finding spots for it here. And I might put a little heart in red like their shirts. But yes, next week I'll be back to the Tuesday time at 6 o'clock. I just had plans already tomorrow that I didn't want to change. It's hard enough to get together with my friends. I don't want to go switching stuff after I already committed to something. Now I was thinking that one of these might be fun for my date. So I could put, it was 2025, so I could put a 25. They might be too big though. But now I've stuck all this stuff down. Can I lift this up? It's just, I didn't add white glue, so it should come up okay. Can't pull the stuff off my photos because it will tear them. But off the paper should be fine. Give myself a little bit more space for my numbers. And then that's where I can put my date. So think outside the box for those numbers. They can be anything. Numbers are everywhere in our world, right? Could be an address, could be an age, could be the year, could be the month, could be the date, could be, I don't know, how many people are in the photo. Could be all sorts of things. I did a layout once for one of my kids' birthdays that said how many like days, months, years, minutes, all those things he was, and it used up a lot of my my number stickers. I was pretty proud of myself. Oh, the things we'll do for our scrapbooks, right? Okay, so I'm gonna tack that down. Did anybody play along with SBC Fest on the weekend? It was a free class on the scrapbook.com YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely do that. If you're a card maker, there's lots of content on there for you. But there was one scrapbooking class by Vicki Booten, and I adore her, so I can't say enough good things about her. But she did 3 incredible layouts with her cut and paste collection, which was like one of the last ones from American Crafts. But honestly, I didn't have the papers that she was using. I have that collection, but I didn't have the papers she was using, so I just like made it up as I went along and used other papers from that same collection. And I was really happy with my layouts. So go on there with whatever papers you already have, and it's free education. You get 3 double page layouts, so 6 pages total. They were pretty cool. Okay. So yeah, free education over on scrapbook.com. And I think they were live for like the whole entire day. So it's a really long video, but it's cut up into segments so you can see where the different teachers are teaching. But yeah, go check it out. Okay, so I'm going to stamp my date on there. Like I said, check out the date stamps in the shop. If there's not one that you're interested in, ask Jo. She'll have a look for you, see what else is available. The date was February 17th, 2025. And so I think I'm going to just stamp it right across here. And I am using VersaFine ink, which is really good for stamping. It gives a nice clear, crisp image if that's what you're looking for. It's one of my favorite blacks. It's probably my new favorite black because Vivid isn't in business anymore. That's the other one that you've probably seen me using. But I pulled this one out because this one is in the shop and I can use something that you guys can go and buy and not something that's like, oh, sorry, this is mine. But yeah, so this is in the shop, VersaFine. It's in a different container now. This is an old one because, like I said, I'm an old scrapbooker, so I have things from way back in the day. You can also get the refills if you already have one, but it's like dried up, you can get the refill for this one. Okay, so there we go. Date stamp, ink, all the things. Finishing touch, I just need my little sprinkly bits and then we can say goodnight. And did I make it under the hour? Yeah, I did. Look, it's only 6:54 and we started at 6:05, so I've really only been live for 50 minutes. Ugh, reach for my tweezers because my shaky fingers don't do the trick anymore. So this one, where we have the red heart here, I would like to put a little something down beside it. Do I want another heart or do I want a dot? Probably a dot. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to put a dot kind of in between the two right there. Okay. Then up here, I might do a few little things just on the side here. So I might do, let's see, what colors do we have in here? We definitely have, well, we have kind of all of them, right? Because we have this stripe. So I'm going to do a red heart over here. And then what else we got? We got blue, definitely. We'll do a medium blue. And then we have plenty of this kind of like greenish color. So we'll do a little one from the greenish color. And we'll put a little cluster of hearts over here. And then we'll do the same kind of up here. Okay. So we'll pick same colors but a different order. So the large one, I'm going to make this green color. And the medium one I'm going to do in the red. Oh, I don't know if I like the red on red. Changed my plan. Let's see. We can do the light blue or the green. No, I don't really have that green in here. It's not my favorite. How about that brown color? You can do that one. It's kind of the same color as their hats too, right? So, do my medium in this one. And then the little one in the blue. We have our little heart clusters. There we go. Oh, thanks for coming, Ruth. It was good to have you. Thanks for chatting. Yeah, I'm glad I'm back too. And we'll see you next week on a Tuesday. We'll be back for Tuesdays next week. Okay, so that is my layout for today using the Paige Evans Legendary Collection with Pink Fresh Studio. And you can definitely check out that collection. I pinned the shop website to the top of the comments. So if you want to go and have a look at what else is there in that collection, you can do so. And yeah, definitely grab and come create along with us next Tuesday. So we'll be back Tuesday for another layout. And it was super great to see all of you again. It's so nice to be back and to be scrapbooking with my friends. So I hope you'll join me some more on those Tuesdays and we will do some more scrapbooking. I'll give you a little bit of some close-up looks at what we're doing here. And I will post in the next few days in the Create Crew, and I will also post this video to my YouTube channel so that it doesn't get deleted permanently. Facebook does delete all of our videos now, so I'll download it and put it on my YouTube channel so that you can go back and watch it if you want to recreate that layout for yourself. All right? Okay, have a good night, everyone. It was great to be here, and I'll see you next week on Tuesday. I think it's the 24th. All right? Take care. Bye for now.